Welcome to Recovering Addict. I am LT and I'm an alcoholic addict.
I'm Felice, married to this awesome guy right here.
I'm Allie, new into recovery, and like I said before, there's no way in hell I'm going back.
Yeah! How many days you got clean?
35.
35 days clean. Thank you for everybody that showed up for our special Zoom meeting on her B-Day, her 30-day B-Day. I love it. And I just got to say, what's up, Sunray? Look at you in the comments, dude. I wrote you on Discord. I'm like, where has Sunray been? Been losing sleep. I'm like, where the heck is this guy? And bam, here he is. I'm so happy he's here. Like I said, I'm LT. I'm an alcoholic addict. 2 times in my life, I hit rock bottom due to drugs and alcohol. I still battle with addictive tendencies with all kinds of stuff, but I got to battle through. But no way am I going back to using drugs or alcohol like I did in the early 2000s with meth. Got a felony, got a year locked up, a few years probation, all that kind of good stuff. And then in my late 30s, I became a fifth the night raging blackout drunk, whiskey drinking right here in this basement that we remodeled and made our new studio. Recovering Addict is back at the house, just like we said. If you've been with us for the last 3-4 months, you remember when I said, hey, the next 3-4 months are going to be a little different. We did a little bit of changes. Those 3 or 4 months are up. I am a peer support. I have completed a second IOP, and now we are back in business. I can come back here. We can focus. I don't have to drive around as much. It's going to be a lot cooler. But we can get a little bit more into the community, back into the community like we're supposed to be. Because why?
We recover better together.
Yeah, we recover better together. I love it. Yeah, these microphones are heavy compared to those other ones, but the sound should be good. Can we get a sound check? Get some thumbs up if our sound is good. This is our first stream back in action, so we don't know what's going to happen. It is live as usual. We may spill drinks. We may glitch out, but I don't know. Des and everybody, thank you for being at the Spiritual Zoom at 6 o'clock today. That was really interesting and fun. Enjoyed every second of it, just like I always do. And I'm so glad to be here with you guys. This is a channel about recovery. We learn about recovery. We read education. We try to hit recovery from all angles. This is not AA. This is not NA. We're not breaking traditions. And I am definitely personally breaking the stigma of anonymity, because if we just going to hide, isolation is not good for us. So I'm going to come out and let the world know that I'm an alcoholic addict, sinful human being that still struggles with sin right now. And I'm battling it just like I will the rest of my life. Hi, Mom. And that's what we do. We go through books right now. We're going through It Will Never Happen to Me. So listen up. I want everybody to go grab a pen and a paper, because we're going to do an exercise. This book is going to walk us through a family tree. And it's going to be a good exercise. I never really thought about doing this, but connecting your past, right? Think about your past, connect with it, understand what you didn't learn, what you needed, and how it's affected who you are today, and start understanding that reality of what you went through. And it's going to help you become the better you, understand the traumas you went through maybe, or just the neglect, or just the way that you were raised in general. And we're going to write down this family tree. We're going to do some circles around who had what addictions, how many times you actually talked to people. And I think it'll be really good. So while Felice is saying what's up to everybody, make sure you got you a pen and a paper. Capiche?
I need a mouse key.
Mouse key for Felice.
I decided that Petey has won the hat, the coveted hat for the 100 share squad.
What? Petey gets 2 hats?
Is Petey. Petey, you share every time. At least 3 or 4 times every live. You win it, bud. Hopefully it doesn't take 4 months to get there.
Well, I guess that's decided.
Yep. You're the 100th one. Last time we were on, it was like only a couple more. And Petey just did 3. So Petey wins. Congratulations, Petey. Okay, and our winner for tonight, to be the first one to say hello, is Merc.
Dang you, Sheree.
You don't win anything except a thumbs up, bud.
Good job, bro.
I know, winner, chicken dinner. Because we love you. Love you, Merc. What's up, John?
What's up, John V? Ventures Forward. Yep. That is a famous man right there with his awesome podcast.
Catching us on replay.
Love
Look,
it.
I'm 3rd place. Woo woo.
What?
I win. What's up, Sky? Not fair, Merc. Well, is what it is. Let's see.
Sky Love. How are you doing? I haven't talked to you forever.
We got Desmond all the way from Australia. We got Mad.
What's up,
Marilyn,
Mad?
We love you.
How's our lovely Mad, our lovely Marilyn in the house tonight? Awesome.
Copy Trading. Go check him out on YouTube at Copy Trading on YouTube.
Awesome. From Ireland, 2:55 a.m. Hey, Copy Trading. So I've been thinking about that. So another option we have coming back here to the house is I get to be more engaged because I do have some more free time now. We're trying to figure out how many people in our community are from the UK over in your parts in your neck of the woods, and what would be a good day and a good time in the morning for me to run a live stream. It'll probably just be me by myself. I may have guests on this show in the mornings, but Felice will probably more than likely be at work. If you could, give me maybe an idea of a good day and time that you think the UK could benefit from a live stream like this, and I'll try to make that happen.
Yes. What up, Lish?
Lisha!
Big Hump.
Oh, Big Hump. What's up, dog?
Come to Utah.
Yeah.
Checking in from Florida. Hey, Amber.
Amber,
Welcome,
nice to
Florida.
see you.
There's Sunray.
Is Amber new here?
Amber is new.
Wow. You know what that
Well,
means?
Unless you've been in the bushes.
That means she's the most important person in the room.
That's true.
If you want, let us know a little bit about your self-sobriety date, what you plan on, what you need, whatever, however we can support you in recovery. Let us know.
What's up, Asia?
Hey.
How you feeling, man?
What's up, girl?
Hey, Jake.
Hey, Jake. What's up, brother?
You never came back. Hi, Kimmy.
Kimmy.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We got a periscoper.
Trust God, not people.
Conscious question.
With a stoned out smiley face.
Lily.
Right on. Thanks for watching,
Hey,
brother.
y'all.
Appreciate it.
Who else? Ooh, another
Or
one.
sister.
He used to get down. Faithful Vino. What's up, Carla?
Carla Bell, how you doing?
Who else we got? Who else? Raina. Oh, I love you. You never called me. I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Faithful full vino, full of wine. Faith and full of wine. Is that what that says? I bet them stories are wild. Yeah, we got a lot of war stories, but we don't like to focus on the war stories. That's what got us in trouble. That was my best thinking, right? We try to be our higher, good, or better self.
Yeah. What's up, Grandma T?
Thank you for the sound check, John.
We got Dwayne trying to stay clean, but
Hi, Mommy. And Dwayne. What's up, Dwayne?
It is
Yeah,
hard.
it is hard, Dwayne. How can we help you? And what are you struggling with currently?
Trevor, what is up? Sound good was check. Cassie, PD.
Shelton, sweet.
Let's see who else I got. Who else? I seen Michelle in there. And Michelle, I'm gonna send you a hat also because you and PD
Yeah,
are dedicated
rock
sheriff
stars.
squatters.
Rock stars.
I see you in there.
Yeah, I think
You-
Petey and Michelle definitely get a hat.
He said his sponsor's gonna love his Christmas present.
Sick.
Let's see. A lot of people here today. Glad you're all here. Who else?
Sweet.
Yep. I'm new. Glad you're here.
Awesome. Yeah, we're glad you're here. We're going to be going through some past history stuff. An A320 recovering weed addict. Man, I smoked weed for 6 years. I don't know. I can't remember. I was stoned. But every single day, like every day for years. When I do something, I don't mess around. But anyway, I did it because I loved getting stoned, going to the construction site, getting out of the van. I would purposely put on like smooth jazz at the job site. I'd go back, get stoned, and then I'd walk in there and my mood would be set. And then I'd just tackle this house, right? Doing stucco, setting scaffold, whatever it was. And all day I smoked weed like cigarettes. I had a little box, one hitter, bloop, bloop. And the only reason I quit was to get a job, right? Because I had to get a drug test. And when I quit, I didn't quit like 2 months before I had to get the drug test. I quit relying on the stuff you buy at the smoke shops to keep me clean. Anyway, long story short, the guy gave me the job. Later on, came up to me. He was like, "You were dirty, weren't you?" I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I was." He goes, "Yeah, I know you were," because the doctor called and said it was a little too clean. But I remember coming off of weed, and I was so tired for like 2 months. I had no motivation to do anything. I had to get stoned to do anything. I had to get stoned to work. I had to get stoned to clean the car. I had to get stoned, to do anything. Oh, I'm leaving. I got to get stoned. Oh, we're going to Felice's mom's house. I got to get stoned. Oh, we're at Felice's mom's house. I got to go get stoned. That's the way my life went. JT123L, what's going on?
We got Philly in the
Philly.
house.
Yo, what's up, Philly? How things in Philly? I know it's been kind of crazy and a little intense out in Philadelphia. We got a homie out there too named Polly Pinch.
You're not chopped liver, Jeanette.
Hey, I am Chopped Livers. How you doing,
You
Chopped
get
Liver? What am I, Chopped
you get
Liver?
a participant award, and I'm gonna send you a bookmark.
That's awesome. Yes. Welcome, Lisa. Thank you all for being a part of the community and welcoming everybody.
Amber. I was reading the next one down. I distracted myself. I was just released from DOC. I did 36 months. Day for day, my addiction landed me with a trafficking charge, meth, as well as felon with a firearm. I've been home since the 6th.
Well, Amber, good luck to you, man. It sounds like you're under some stress. And, you're probably under probation. You may still be facing, well, if you did 36 months day for day, so you maybe, what are you out on parole, maybe a probation, in your home, just don't fall back. You got to cut out anything that would take you back to that. Friends, right, that have the meth, or just stay away, close those back doors, careful with the jobs that you get, and just be really diligent right now, because it could be very, with all the stress, the times, the Zoom meetings, the COVID, the uncertainty about the politics, it could all come weighing down on you. And then like this one guy over in our group says, the one day you break your shoelace is the day you freak out and go back and use. So try to keep everything balanced and under control.
LT actually cut my hair. It finally grew out because it was stupid, and then LT made it look good again.
I cut everybody's hair in this house.
That looks really good.
I cut her hair.
I need a fan.
I cut Link's hair. I cut Allie's hair, and I cut Millie's hair.
How's that?
Beautiful.
PD wants to know why we're back in the house.
So time is up at SOAR. Remember, PD, 3-4 months ago when I said, hey, I'm going to get my peer support specialist, and I'm going to go join this other IOP and get to work with them. All that's completed. I've completed it all. I'm a peer support specialist and completed the second IOP. We're back at the house because it's better here for everything that we got going on. I don't believe COVID and all that stuff's going anywhere anytime soon. I think we're going to get pushed more deep digitally, and I want to be prepared for that as well. There's a whole bunch of other reasons, but those are the mains.
Boom, we got South Africa.
South Africa.
Oh, you love our president.
Oh, thank you.
So, watching Recovering Addict.
Just randomly clicked in random streams, so I don't really know what I'm watching. We're a bunch of drug addicts trying to not be, trying to stay clean and sober is what we are there, JT.
Amber said she's on probation for 2 years.
Man.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Probation's not
in
fun.
The house. I've hit anger in the stages of grief. That's, at least it's down there.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle said you did a great job.
Thank you.
Do you cut your own hair?
I do.
And our hair.
I cut everybody's hair in the house.
Michelle says it looks awesome. Just kidding. Ray.
I cut Millie's too. I shave my head every few. Yeah, I have to, man. It gets like a 32nd of an inch, and I feel dirty. I think it looks stupid. Samantha, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, welcome newcomers.
Yeah.
If you're a newcomer, drop that sobriety date. Let us know how we can support you in recovery. We do have actual communities behind this live stream that like lift us up. This is just kind of a place where we can gather and learn some stuff and go through books together and get things to think about like we're going to do tonight. Here in a second, we're going to answer some questions out of the Discord. But we have a Discord, a YouTube channel like you're obviously at, and a private Facebook group. If you want to get into our community, get to know the people in the chat. I'm going to throw out a few names that I see real quick. Alicia, Merck, Dez, Cherie. Who'd I miss? Alicia, Merck, Dez, Cherie, Sober, Obs, Jake. There's a lot of people in the community that have been here a while, and they are ready and willing to just jump and pounce on people that need support.
So you're
81 days. I'm from Discord. Oh, cool.
Very neat.
Looks like she came through the other direction. That's welcome. Welcome, Samantha. I love it. All
okay,
right.
I'm going to drop some links, and you can do your... Yeah, where's Claiborne?
Yeah. Yes, this Discord question of the day. If you come into the Discord, you jump over here and you go down to questions for live. If you post a question in here, I will or we will address it. And I'm going to answer this. I'm going to read the question. I'm going to give my thoughts. I'm going to let Allie give her thoughts. And then we're going to move on to Felice and let her give her thoughts. This question comes from Ash for Life. Does anyone find that some music is triggering? Some songs just bring vivid memories of using. I've been listening to more Christian music, but I don't want to leave my old school tunes behind. AKA Michelle Appel Levine Martin. Michelle, yes, I have two in particular albums, full albums that bring back vivid drug memories. So Enya, I don't know if you remember that, the Enya back in the 90s. The whole album, I was tripping on acid. I can't remember how much acid I took, but I was tripping on acid, and I was in this room, in our room. We set up crazy lights, and I tripped out through that whole song, or that whole album. Another time, tripping on acid, I took about, I don't know, tons of acid, and I went through Rob Zombie's whole album, and that's back when you could pull the covers apart and read every lyric, and I sat and read every lyric and got up, and like my friend has this girl, and it's not weird, it's just we were tripping, but duct taped to this chair, and she's like bouncing around, and we were all like perching on things. It was crazy. We had black lights, and so yeah, definitely that. And then if I get into the Tupac, Biggie, all those, Wu-Tang Clan, then I feel like I need to go get stoned and drink some drinks, and Snoop Dogg. So it does definitely bring back those memories. Triggered, I don't know that it makes me, I kind of, I start joking around about smoking weed. I start joking around about hitting the liquor store. So, I mean, it could if I continue to play in that. We definitely need to protect what goes in our eyes and what's in our ears, because that's kind of what feeds our soul. So, yeah, I would definitely stay on guard. What do you think?
Yeah, I listen to a lot of music. Music's a big part of my life. And, I mean, I'm only like 35 days clean, but at first it was kind of sad when I would hear those songs, or it brought back a lot of those really bad memories. But the cleaner I get, I'm just grateful when I hear those songs now. Like it's kind of flipped a switch. Instead of being like sad or feeling like scared because I'm hearing songs that I listened to when I was high. I'm more grateful that I'm not in that place anymore, I guess.
That's a good way to look at it. Yeah, flip the perspective. I guess instead of allowing that music to trigger you, go, whew, glad I'm not there
anymore. That's what I think.
I like that.
So I'm not an addict, so they don't trigger me to do drugs, but I'm with you. I listen to a lot of Christian music, and I noticed this last week or so that I've been listening to a lot of more not Christian music, and it's harder for me to keep my emotions in check. And so I've been switched back to Christian music because it's a great reminder that God's in control and he's in charge and not me. And it puts my emotions back in check.
Yeah, so it definitely affects your moods, huh? Could be like ruining. This is a spiritual program if we are following the 12 steps. And our spiritual condition is something we have to keep at the forefront of our minds, and to not do things that are going to hurt our conscience. And so I got to be conscious of that as well. And music can be something that could damage your conscience. I don't know. That could be you. It could be some other people or not. Carl, I'm with you. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Man, I used to listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan before I was in a band. I played music my whole life, just dinked around with it, drums and bass and stuff. But there was this Lenny. If you go to Stevie Ray Vaughan, Lenny, that song where he's on stage and he's sweating and he just plays this most beautiful song. We would get prepped, right, to go jam by listening to that song amongst a few others. But this was always one of them we listened to while we were getting stoned and drinking, just so it could give us that energy. And then we'd go play, and that was what our inspiration was. So that type of stuff, when I hear that song, it takes me back to that day. And it makes me want to get stoned and play my instruments for sure. So yeah, I definitely get a little triggered, I guess you could say. Sweet, positive outlooks. All right, let's read the 24-hour thought of the day today for November 29th. This is from the AA book. This is an AA thought of the day. The AA way is the way of sobriety, and yet there are slips. Why do these slips occur? Why don't we accept AA and stay sober from then on? How can we just, from then on? There are many reasons, but it has been proved without exception that once we have become alcoholics, we can never drink successfully again. This has never been disproved by any case we know of. Many alcoholics have tried drinking after a period of sobriety from a few days to a few years, and no one that we know of has been successful in becoming a normal drinker. Here's your question you need to think about. Could I be the only exception to this rule? Not me. What about you?
No.
I am. Just kidding. I'm not.
The big book says that we are like men who have had their legs cut off, right? We cannot regrow legs. Once we cross that line into addiction and alcohol and that allergy, right? The phenomenon of craving sets in. We don't drink normally anymore. We're not the casual, normal drinker to have a couple sips and walk away. We have to finish the bottle. And if you left yours out, I'm going to finish yours. And then I'm going to go to the liquor store, finish some more. And before I know it, a year and a half has gone by and I've wasted a lot of my life. So think about that before you think, one day I could have a drink, So our meditation of the day is we are gathered together in thy name. First, we are gathered together, bound by a common loyalty to God and to each other. When this condition has been fulfilled, then God is present within us. When God is there and one with us, then we voice a common prayer. Then it follows that our prayer will be answered according to God's will. Then when our prayer is answered, we are bound together in lasting fellowship of the Spirit. And our prayer of the day is, I pray that I may be loyal to God and to others. And I pray that my life today may be lived close to His and others. Amen.
Amen.
Very good.
Can we pull up Kimmy's question real quick?
Yeah, Kimmy.
She says, how do I get my family to understand I need them to understand and be a part of this, and or that I need to be able to open up to them?
Well, I'm going to let you take that one, Felice. Since so Kimmy, since you're new here and anybody else that's new here, I was a raging fifth a night drunk, and I drug her through about 5 years of hardcore me being an insane drunk. And I get pretty crazy. And so she had to deal with that. I'm going to let her kind of tell her side of that and maybe answer this question. And then I'll give you what I think. And you can give her what you think too.
Yeah. I was just rereading again, just to make sure I got, how do I get my family to understand? Putting myself in that perspective again. It's been a minute. But I didn't understand for a really long time. I was like, just quit. But that's not how it works until I myself had to do a lot of research. And this was even when he was still deep in his addiction, as I had to go out and do my own research and figure out what addiction is and what alcohol does to the body and how hard is it to come off of alcohol and what are the side effects if he does come off and he's been drinking this much. Is it going to hurt him? Does he need to go into inpatient? There's a lot of things the family members need to do on their own to see what addiction does and how the brain works and all the other things. And then I think that gives a great perspective on how to be empathetic to the addict and where to start drawing your boundaries and when to enable or not, how to not enable. And then finally, when he was ready to quit, I just stepped in and was as supportive as I could possibly be in his recovery. And that might be hard for a lot of other family members because you do get hurt a lot during their active addiction. And it is harder for some people to forgive than others. So I don't know where your family is in that line of forgiveness or how involved they want to be in your recovery. But it is important for the family to recover also because I was pretty broken. So I don't know where they're at. And I don't know that you can make them understand, but you could show them the ways to do it and give them different, articles to read and stuff, or suggestions that they could look into and do research or research together.
Tell us how long she's been clean?
I don't know.
Yeah, because if you've been clean a minute, like she said, we've ruined a lot of trust with our family. And right now it's our actions that are going to speak louder than our words. In the book, Drop the Rock, it says, do you want to apologize without, do you want to say sorry and then change your life so that you never need to say sorry again? Because how many times in our active addiction did we say sorry but never changed anything so that we didn't have to just say it again? Are you sick of saying sorry? So kind of let your actions, before you try to really show them what addiction is. I don't know. This is just a suggestion. Let your actions speak for a little while on your 80. Oh, that's right. 81. Okay. I was looking for it. So you got some time under your belt, and the more you learn, feed it to them. Al-Anon is a great resource. Al-Anon is 12 steps for the family that's not addicted. When you love an addict, that's a great place for them to learn. We went to counseling together, family counseling, as a whole, with the kids and everything. So we all got to sit underneath a counselor and other families during counsel sessions, and that helped us a lot.
And encourage them to go to meetings with you,
because it's a family recovery. We recover better together. We made that our motto. You can see it here, right over here. On
in the eye. You guys didn't see that.
and the reason we came up with that slogan is not only community as recovering addicts, but I wasn't the only one in this family needed to recover from addiction. They needed to recover from the addiction I gave them. They become codependent. They're worried about, I don't know how many sleepless nights your loved ones have had worried about you and your addiction, but that created something in them that's not right, that needs to be recovered from. And so it's a whole we recover, family recovery, community recovery thing that has to happen.
Yeah. And there's, what's that one movie that we watched together?
Unwoven.
Pleasures
Unwoven.
That's a good one to
it's
watch
a must
together.
See. All righty then. Where is my little duder? There he is. Some echo going on. What's up, Teeter?
Hey, y'all.
Hello, Teeter.
How you doing?
Special guest in the show today. Her name is Cliff. This is Eclipse. The reason I'm having her in the show is because I want to talk about how pets can help you with your addiction and your recovery.
Yes, so much.
How do they help you, Teeter?
Well, one of mine who's in my bedroom sleeping, she's actually a emotional support animal. So she's registered emotional support animal, and they help me a lot by making me calm when they're calm, unlike this little scraggly one that's always wanting to go everywhere. I just wanted to show her. Okay. Check out the show.
So you're saying that pets can help you in your recovery process by lowering anxieties and just giving you company and someone to just feel connection with?
Right, especially if you don't have anyone to reach out to, or, a big support, group of people, get a cat or a dog.
I agree. You know what that makes me think of? Like survival. We've been watching this thing Alone. Merc's on there.
Yeah, he is. I think he caught an elk.
But they drop these 10 people off in the Antarctic, right? And they just got to survive. The longest one living or that sticks around because they can tap out wins. They're on day 45 right now, but that reminds me of isolation, because isolation is like the worst thing for an addict. We learned that at our 6 o'clock why Eve was created, because it's not good for man to be alone. When we isolate, that's a bad place for us. So animals can help. Even like in the forest, if you're by yourself, you're lost, you build a fire, and that fire actually keeps you company. So isolation is another thing that is just horrible, and animals can fill that void. We're always looking for supplements to our recovery. First things first, right? You're struggling, call your sponsor. I can't get a hold of my sponsor. I'll call another friend. And you go down your list of your superstars in your recovery that you lean on, right? Until you get to your digital community, because we're just a supplement. I highly push you to go local and be face-to-face more than this. And then, if that's not available, or even if it is available, but it's not on right now, you got your animal right there with you,
Right. And also another thing is a lot of people know that Asia's away in the hospital recovering herself. And another reason is I hate being alone. I cannot stand to be alone. And that's part of why my godson is here staying with me, is so that I don't go crazy and I don't relapse and I don't start drinking again, because I'll guarantee you, if it wasn't for him being here, more than likely I would.
Yeah. Well,
and I don't want to go down that route.
Well, make sure you give him a big hug for us and
I don't do hugs.
Be in good support, man.
We'll give you a nice pat on the shoulder.
See, I got a pat on the shoulder.
The best therapists have fur and walk on 4 legs.
Yeah.
Yes, I like
good,
that.
Linky. Awesome.
And also, speaking of pets, I'm going to have a famous animal next week on the show for you guys. I'm not going to say who it is, but this famous animal has over 7,000 Facebook followers. She has been featured on Good Morning Sacramento twice, and also has a children's book out and another one coming out shortly.
Awesome, brother. So everybody tune in next Sunday because Teeter has a special guest.
They're going to be on the show next Sunday.
Awesome.
We're going to have a celebrity animal in the house.
That's so cool. I'm excited. Amen to that. All righty, Teeter. Thanks for coming on, and we will see you soon.
All righty.
Oh, that's cool.
Hump says he has no support, but you should move to Utah.
Move to Utah, and you can have my dog, too.
What?
Yeah.
We're talking about an animal? That's awesome. All right. So what do we got to do now? Oh, I didn't send the link to you know who.
Slacker.
Crud. We'll fill it in for a second, please.
Filling it in. Oh, Kimmy. Yes, Kimmy. I'm going to send you a link to this article I read, and it was super helpful for me. But it was kind of like mid-addiction. So I don't know if it'll be very helpful for you. But we'll see. If it is, it is. If it's not, it's not.
Yeah, give it a shot. Anybody want this dog? Megan.
What?
She may be outside.
Oh, this way.
Oh yeah, there she is. There's my. Oh.
Ow! Everyone's punching me today.
It's weird when you're looking in there and you try to point over here. That dog right there, this big old German Shepherd.
Oh, and welcome, Robert.
Riley.
I see you.
All right, let's get into our book. I hope everybody grabbed a pen and paper because we are going to get into talking about the past. Maybe we can do it here on the show as well if you guys want to try to write this down. You want to?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have Allie give it a shot since Fleece really wasn't the addict here, but me and Allie definitely are.
Things and stuff.
That one's
Stuff and things.
Yeah.
Stuff and things.
okay. So we're going to talk about connecting, exploring our past history. That was the topic of our show today. Exploring past history. And what we do is we go through educational books on this channel. And right now we're going through a book called It Will Never Happen to Me. There's a link in the description if you ever want to grab you one. And there's a lot of links to books in there as well. I suggest clicking on them and checking them out. Get you some books in recovery. My favorite one is Staying Sober by Terrence Gorski. I really want to go through that one again. But today we're going to talk about explore your past history, connecting the past to the present. So you got to explore what you went through, right? And now it's present. Now you got to connect that to the present. And then challenge your internalized beliefs. We grow up with these internalized beliefs based on how we're raised from our family, right? So we explore our past. And we're not exploring this past to assign blame, right? But to discover and acknowledge reality. You kind of try to go into exploring the past as you were raised with your dysfunctional family, because there's more dysfunctional families than not these days. But you're not doing it to like, well, screw you. And you're not trying to build a step for right now. Okay. This is just exploring it. This is what I went through. And I'm acknowledging reality of that. And then you're going to connect this past to the present. You're going to connect the past to the present means how does the past pain and loss influence who I am today? What did you lose and how painful was it? And how did this influence who you are today? Think about that. How does this past affect who I am as a parent? How does it affect who I am as an employee? How does it affect who I am in relationships? And then how does it affect how I feel about myself? Because it has something to do with all of those. Who you are and the way you act in situations is affected by this past. So let's explore it. Let's connect it to the present. And let's ask ourselves this question. How does the past pain and loss influence who I am today? In the workplace, as a mom or a dad, as a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife? And then how, when you look in the mirror, do you feel about yourself? The cause and effect connection we discover between our past losses and our present lives give us a sense of direction. This is going to give us direction. You're going to see, oh, because of that, this, now I know what to do. It allows us to become more centered in the here and now. And this clarity will identify the areas we need to work on. So that's what we want to do. Oh, Cassie cannot make it tonight. She just texted and said she's out to dinner. So I'm going to give her a cry face.
Yeah.
Where is the cry face emoji? There it is.
Am I in your way?
No, you're good. No Cassie time. So Teeter, You better be looking for a quote because you got about 5 minutes. He's giving me thumbs up from backstage. He's on it.
Thanks, Teeter.
Oh, did you want to do it?
No, I was just going to.
Allie,
Yeah.
No,
quote of the
let's
day.
hear.
Teeter, do you want you to do it or do you want Allie to do it?
Teeter.
You. He said, me. Allie, me.
Hey, get on it.
I'm Teeter, boy. I'm the Godfather. All right, then you got to challenge these internalized beliefs. There's some things you believe just because your parents told you to believe it. And it's like running your hand on sandpaper to try to believe something else because it's internalized, right? You just like, that's what my dad taught me.
Yeah, like if I fall down ice skating with my fingers out, they're going to get chopped off.
Yeah, Felice can't go ice skating because her mom internalized that she's going to get her fingers chopped off.
Oh my gosh.
She's a psycho.
Do you have any internalized beliefs that your parents taught you that now that you're older, you realize, wait a minute?
That's not right.
Yeah.
I can't think of any. I'm sure I do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
We
sure
all
I
do.
do.
Forever, I thought it was Napoleon ice cream.
I remember my dad told me one time,
It's the Neapolitan.
he's all, there's a verse in the Bible that if you read it, you put a key in the Bible, you shut it, you'll summon a demon. I was like, really? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Then I grew up
That's crazy.
Then I grew up and I remember that as a kid and I started researching it and I didn't find shit on it.
That's funny.
You know, that kind of stuff. So you got to challenge these beliefs when you come across them. Challenge internalized beliefs means this, okay? What beliefs have I internalized from my growing up years? Are they helpful or hurtful to me today? And then you take those beliefs, like the one with my dad, the key in the Bible. It doesn't hurt me, but you do what you would. You
I'll
do what
still
you.
tuck my fingers because it's helpful.
Yeah, that's helpful. That's a good one. So what beliefs would support me in living a healthier life? So then you look at the beliefs. If it's not healthy, you let go of it and you grab the healthier one, right? So often we internalize beliefs such as like this. This is a couple examples of some internalized beliefs that you may be battling. It's not okay to say no, right? Or others people's needs are more important than my own. No one will listen to what I have to say. Or the world owes me and I'm entitled. And people will take advantage of you every chance they get. Don't trust nobody. I heard a story about a kid one time. The dad was talking about trust and he put this kid up like on a ladder or on a play set and went, oh, jump to me. The kid jumped and the dad moved out of the way and let the kid smash on the ground. Whack! He says, don't trust anyone. That type of internalized belief is not healthy because you can trust people in this world. You got to be careful. You got to choose wisely. But you can, right? That would be an internalized belief from that kid that grew up and now has to deal with that when he gets in a relationship. And, or like Brad was saying, he learned from his father, if you watched the podcast yesterday, that you could not be the first one to look away from eye contact or you are not the tough guy. And so he got into a billion of fights because of that internalized belief that was hurtful. And I just saw Cassie pop on. And she popped out. Damn, let me see if I can excuse myself 1 sec, she says. I love it. Oh, my goodness.
Cheesy.
She is all social distance up in Las Vegas. Let's add her to the stream.
Yeah, don't get us sick. Don't cough on me.
Yeah. Look, she's walking.
You're muted there. Ooh, what? Raiders.
Yeah, look at this.
I can't hear you.
Ooh.
Can you hear me now? You can hear me now, right?
Okay, yeah, we got you.
Okay. So I'm at the official Raiders hotel.
Woo!
Isn't
Raider
that
Nation.
That's cool.
Gang, gang. Isn't that so awesome? I think this is a Raiders car. Hold on. Can I flip you guys around? Hold on. So I don't have a quote, so this is what I'm going to show with you guys today. Or what I'm sharing with you guys.
Sick.
Can I turn this around, LT? How do I turn it around? Can I?
You go. Let me show you. You go like that. There you go.
That way?
Yep.
Shut up.
Just take your
You see
hand
that?
and you just go like that.
Okay. Smart, Alec.
Is
Isn't
that a
cool?
McLaren or a Ferrari?
I know. Ferrari.
Oh,
Wait,
snap.
can you guys see that?
Cool.
Isn't that so
Yeah,
cool? Wait, I wanna-
dude.
And then look at these pretty flowers. Look at Felice. Look how pretty these flowers are.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Look at the ceiling.
Oh my gosh, those are beautiful.
Wow.
That's the ceiling. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't have a quote today. I almost forgot, so I apologize.
Mm.
So
No worries. We're just happy to see your face.
thank you. So I do have a little quote. This one I made up myself. Smile because it's contagious. It's just kind of funny because with the virus going around, it's kind of contagious. It's kind of a scary word to use, but Smile because it's contagious.
Yeah,
It's a good thing.
that's awesome.
Yay, I love you guys. I miss you, LT.
I miss you.
I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys soon. Mwah. I love you.
Yeah, love you. Bye.
you.
Well, at least we got to hear from her at Raider Nation. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that big hump. He's a Raider boy. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Peter still has a quote too.
Oh, Teeter still has a quote if we want to pull him on. All right, Teeter, you got 30 seconds and go.
9, 8.
Well, you can't do it if you're muted.
Are you just?
You're muted, bro.
I bet it's a great quote though.
Is this something about silence?
That mute button. Sorry. Okay, so since Cassie couldn't do the quote, but we saw her live anyways, I'm going to do the quote of the day. Success isn't about what you accomplish in your life. It's about what you do to inspire others.
I love it. Thank you so much, Teeter. See you in a minute. Where's my book, Stain? Can you do me a favor? Grab me without the steps we took, staying sober, and addictive personality. I'm gonna hook you up right here, Gigi.
This is our Vanna White.
Addictive personality,
Yeah, it should be green or something like that.
addictive thinking.
Yeah, that one too.
Ooh. I'm gonna knock over your hourglass.
That would not be good.
There you go.
So these are the books that I lean on, and I still lean on. In this order, I would say, addictive thinking. That's a great one. You understand self-deception because you got alcoholism, right? You remove the alcohol, you're still left with the ism. The ism is up here in our minds. This book's going to kind of help you understand addictive thinking. This is by Abram Tversky. So that book's obviously in the links below. If you're a 12-step looking to look at person, The Steps We Took by Joe McHugh is a great book. We went through that on this show. So you can actually get these books and go back to our former I have them all in playlists in this YouTube channel, and you can go back and go through them with us. But that's a great one. And then my favorite one of all time is Staying Sober, probably because it's the first one I read. But this book talks about post-acute withdrawal and all kinds of great stuff. And I really want to go through that one again. Thanks, Allie.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then today we're going through this book, It'll Never Happen to Me. This is about growing up with addiction as youngsters, adolescents, or adults. I grew up with an addictive thinking father, and my whole family was addicts of some sort, mostly alcoholics. Allie, I imagine, grew up the same way, and Felice as well, but Felice went the other direction.
It was too scary.
Too scared. All right. I wasn't.
I'm scared now.
So the world owes me and I'm entitled, right? We're back to challenging our internalized beliefs. All right, so let's get to our thing. This is what we want to do. We want to learn new skills, and that's going to help us do that. So right now, to better understand your family system, so if you got your pen and your paper, excuse me, this is what we need to do. So it's often helpful to have a mental picture of your family. To the best of your ability, you got to fill in these blanks, and I'll read them to you so you kind of build your own. In the name of your family members. For many people, this exercise reminds them of how little they know of their family history. And if you cannot complete many of the names, simply acknowledge the fact that they are a missing piece in your history. And what does that mean or imply to you? You may choose to seek out others to assist in filling these blanks. So we'll just kind of go through real quick here. About your family tree. Have you just grab a piece of paper, write it down, and it'll give you kind of an insight on how much do you really know about your family. And once we're done writing it down, we're going to go through and we're going to put a circle on the names of people who you know who have experienced alcohol or other drug problems in your history in the past, right? Your family tree. You're going to put a check next to the names of who you know have experienced eating disorder problems. You're going to mark with an X the names of people whom you know were physically abusers and or were abused. Now, this is the part where we don't want to place blame. We're just trying to look for reality and knowledge to help you move forward. Indicate with a square. So this may be a private thing you don't want to show people. But indicate with a square the names of people whom you knew were incest perpetrators and or incest victims. And then you can indicate with a star the names of people who you know who experience the other identical dysfunctions and name the problem. So indicate by circling the names of the people whom you have had a strong positive regard for. When you are done, do some writing as to why you feel the positive attachment. So we're going to look at five negatives, and then we're going to look at the people that are positive as well. So grab your paper and then write down the mother's side of your family. Write down your grandmother and your grandfather. So you write down your grandmother and your grandfather, okay? And as soon as you write those down on your mother's side, this is your mother's mom and dad. It could be your mother's mom and stepdad or whatever, right? And then underneath the mother's side, name your aunts with spouses. And then name all their children.
They have to be side by side.
So like me, I would write down, for my mom, I would write down Millie. But I don't remember. I think Mom is Granville, your dad's name. What was your dad's name? I never even met either one of them, so I don't know. And then my aunts, I would write Aunt Linda, and then Brenda, and all their kids, right? And then you go down to your uncles. This would be your mom's sister or your mom's brother. Write down your uncles with their spouses as well. Here's what it looks like. Crud.
So now write your mom.
And then move on to your father's side after that. So let me know where you guys are at.
And then you would do all your aunts.
So you're really going to dig into your mother's side of the family right now with the names of your aunts and your uncles and their children. Because cousins are sometimes part of this problem as well as we grow up with them, correct? Sometimes they're older than us. I grew up with 10 cousins older than me. I remember my brother and my cousins, they were 9 to 15 years older than me. So I remember being like 5 or 6 watching videos and all kinds of stuff that I shouldn't have been watching at that age. But that's big brothers and big cousins, right? That's what they do to little, and especially back in the 80s. So once you do that, move on to your father's side. And then you do the same thing. You write down your grandma, your grandpa, and under your dad's side, you write down your dad's brothers or sisters, your aunts or your uncles, and their children as well. Too fast?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, my family's all split up in like step, you know, like I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
You write right there?
And if you have steps, just try to simplify it. If you have a step grandpa, just write him. Your aunt is just your dad's sister, right? Your uncle would be just your dad's brother. And on the same with your mom's side, you just write down your aunt and your uncle on your mom's side. If there isn't any, don't write them down. And then once you're done with that, you move on to your own parents, okay? You write down your mom and your dad. And if they're split up, you write down your stepmom if it's the first one. And if it's the second one, write down your second stepmom. And same with your dad. Same with your mother. If you have a stepdad, write those down as well. And then you move on to your siblings, okay? Do you have brothers and sisters? You write all them down. You write their spouses down as well. And then you write all their children down. And then you go back through this list, okay? We're going grandma, grandpa, aunts and uncles, both sides of the family, mom and dad, stepmom, stepdad, brothers and sisters, and their spouses with their children. Make a list of this. If you can't remember and you're watching this on replay, hit pause and just kind of rewind a few times until you get this full family list built. Teeter, thank you so much. And Marilyn, thank you so much for the super stickers. Appreciate it 100%. Helps out a ton. Thank you, Teeter. Yes, Gramful was your stepdad, my step grandpa. And then did I ever meet Granville? I don't think I ever did. My mom's side of the family is really all I know, so mine will be short. See, there you go. And this kind of gives some insight on our history. We're taking a look at our history and we're connecting the past to the future and understanding and getting a guide to help us in our recovery. So,
my Uncle Charles has like 15 kids. I couldn't name all of them if I tried.
Now, try to write this down too, okay? Let's make you a legend. You know you got to build this family tree with your mom, your dad, and all the grandpas and aunts and uncles, okay? You know you're building a family tree up to your grandparents, both sides. Now, the circle. Let's build a legend, draw a box. You know what a legend is, right? A key, a note, whatever you want to call it, if you're a print guy or a map guy. Indicate with a circle the names of people whom you know have experienced alcohol or drug problems. So a little circle next to a name means they had alcohol or drug problems, okay? Circle next to the name, alcohol, drug problems. Back in your family list, and if it could be, you can actually have all these right next to the same person. It's not like, well, that person did. No, if this person experienced every one of these, you put a circle, a check, an X, a square, and a star. Those are the symbols we're using. The next one is check. Check the names of people whom you know who have experienced eating disorders. So say Uncle Freddie, we knew he was a drug addict, alcoholic, but then he had an eating disorder after he quit, or vice versa. He had a eating disorder and then became an alcoholic. He would get a circle and a check mark next to his name. Stuff you need to know. Mark with an X the names of people whom you knew were physical abusers and or were abused. So is there aunts and uncles out there that you know beat their kids, or maybe you were a victim of this, or were they victims? Like I could write down some of my cousins, and I kind of building this in my mind with some of the stuff I know. That's an X. If they're abusive physically, put an X by their name. A square indicates the names of people whom you know were incest perpetrators and or incest victims. So they were either victims of their past or people in the family, or you were, or you know of people who were, right? And that would be squares. Indicate with a star the names of the people whom you know experienced or other identifiable dysfunctions and the name of the problem. Okay, so a star would be like he's got this type of dysfunction, and then you write the problem next to it. So what does this do for us? This is going to help you talk about it, right? One of the consequences of growing up in a home with the don't talk rule, because we grew up in a home like that. We don't talk about it. We don't say anything about what that happened last night and this and that, right? That kind of was my house. One of the consequences of growing up in a house with the don't talk rule is that people develop a silent tolerance for inconsistencies, untruths, and painful feelings. So reflect on people you may have talked to about problems. So go back through this now. Now you're doing this. You're understanding your history. You're writing it down. And now you want to go back through and look at the people that you may have talked to about problems at home when you were a young child or a teenager. Who did you talk to? Like somebody you could be open and honest with and break that don't talk rule. Check the frequency with which you can remember talking about your problems. Okay? Did you talk about your problems? Who did you talk about them with? Or do you know all this stuff about your family and you haven't told anybody? And so it gives you another little list, frequency of talking about the problems. You got your mother, never, once, occasionally, or often. You got your father, same thing. How often did you talk about your problems to your father? Never, once, occasionally, or often. Good night, Shauna.
Did you shout out Marilyn already?
What's the name of the book?
About Mr. Teeter. Thank you, Teeter.
It'll never happen to me. We are on page 113, about halfway through this book.
What's up, Josh?
And now let's talk about the present. Okay, so we're looking at the past. You've identified alcoholism, perpetrator, molesters, whatever in your family. And then the next thing you do is you're going to list who you talked to your problems with. And maybe you never did. Now, next, let's list the people in your life today whom you are willing to share your problems with. Who do you trust today to talk about to? In some instances, certain issues were present in your life as a child and a teenager that may have prevented you from talking about your problematic areas of your life. Circle those that were true for you. Why didn't you talk about it? So now write down these that you feel that is a reason you didn't talk. Did you feel ashamed? So the first one is I felt ashamed. Or I felt disloyal, as if I were betraying. If I go talk about this problem, I'm being disloyal to my mom or my dad or whoever, right? Or maybe you're embarrassed. Were you embarrassed to talk about it? I didn't understand what was occurring well enough to talk about it. So you didn't understand. You just kind of went through this problem and you didn't understand it good enough to talk about it. Or I was afraid I wouldn't be believed. If I go tell that this happened or that happened, they're not going to believe me, so I'm not saying nothing. Is that something that you went through? It was insinuated in a nonverbal way that I should not talk. So you were basically browbeat to not talk. It seemed as though no one else was talking, or I believed something bad would happen if I talked. I came to believe that nothing good would have come from talking. If as an adult you still have difficulty talking about your childhood and adolescence, put a check by the above statements that apply to you today. So do you still feel these above statements that I just read as a problem as to why you won't talk to the person that you listed that you dare to talk to? And you put a check mark next to the ones, and we'll dig into that. And now that it is 8:56, we're going to close this out. But next Tuesday, where we'll be live again next Tuesday, we will review what we just went through. Hopefully you bring that piece of paper back, and we will dig deeper into the remedy of what this little exercise is going to teach us.
Tools on.
Oh, we got your remedy. He passed away while you were little. Oh, okay, Mom. Yes, and please, before y'all bail out of here, please smash that like and share and all that kind of good stuff.
Aubrey noticed his clock.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, if you guys look at my clocks behind here, we got Australia, the UK, and Mountain Time. That's Utah time right
Daylight
there.
Savings Mountain Time.
Yep. Cool. All right, y'all. Thank you guys so much for being here. We will be back next Tuesday to pick up in that book. I'm really looking forward to Teeter next Sunday so that he can bring on this special cat guests and show us what's going to be up there. So make sure you tune in next Tuesday for sure.
Aww.
God,
I forgot them.
Teeter, he's just going for it. God, grant me the serenity
we need to accept the
things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, the wisdom to know
the difference.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Teeter. We recover better together by staying safe, staying sane, staying strong, staying sober. You're worth it. Good night, family. I love y'all. And make sure you guys go check out Venture Forward, John Ventura Verdatini. Make sure you check him out. He's got a great podcast as well, y'all. Thank you for all being here. I'm glad we're back. We're back in action, and more changes to come, more live feeds to come.
Sunday's guest is a cat. It's Sunday.
Sunday's guest is what? Oh, is a kitty cat.
Sunday's guest.
Works on Wednesday.
Sunday's guest, Merc. Right on, y'all. Until next time, you know what to do. Well, you know what not to do. Do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your programs, and remember, we recover better together.